So do you want to see the Jon Stewart take? Are we game? We are game. I am choosing.
All right, I want to show you guys something. It's gonna.
Okay, let's see. I want to see something. Let's see. I haven't seen the Jon Stewart thing, but I heard it was epic. And it's great that we can see it through. I think you should really separate disliking the Russian state and the Russian people in charge from the Russian population, you know. I think it's the healthy approach. Because trust me, the Horamba, I am from Poland, and Polish-Russian, let's just say that Polish-Russian relations are a bit complicated, okay, historically. Just like Ukrainian and Russian. Yeah. Really complicated relations, but it's important to remember that at the end of the day, we are all just people with different circumstances, right? Okay, let's see what Shark has to say about the base Jon Stewart take.
Gonna be very interesting. So we don't know Jon Stewart that much, but he is back with a vengeance. He's been memeing on his little show. It's called The Problem.
Jon
Stewart.
Jon Stewart is very nice, very funny, very cool, you know?
Thought it was like The Problem with him, and he just talked about, I thought it was just like a sort of like live therapy session or something, but fortunately or unfortunately, it's not. It's different. Yeah, it's the Trauma Dump Show. It's the Trauma Dump Show. But it is not that. And
good luck, Boy Meets Mini. I hope it will be amazing, okay, the meeting. Like, we wish you good luck in the canvassing meeting. Canvassing is important to further our goals. So, like, good work and, you know, keep up the good work, right?
And what he actually does is find out the problem with things, and he talks about them. It's incredibly interesting. So, the other day, he recently dropped this banger, which is him interviewing the Arkansas Attorney General.
Nice.
The state recently banned gender-affirming care.
Yeah.
Who's trying to fight it in court to try to make sure that that ban stays in place.
I just heard that Jon Stewart had a really good trans take, but I did not know this context. So this is going to be interesting. I actually like Jon Stewart a lot. I'm positively like really towards Jon Stewart. So let's see.
The ban was stopped by a judge and it got thrown down to the lower courts because it doesn't make any sense for the state to be able to just ban healthcare for people who need it for any other reason besides they just are really angry that trans people exist.
Yeah.
And so he actually got to sit down and he debated. He literally debated.
Wow.
Into a corner. This is one of the best indictments for everybody who says that debate is cringe and debate isn't really cares about debate. The best indictment of that ideology, because I gotta tell you, this is a bloodbath in the best way possible. Let's take a look at it.
Why would the state of Arkansas step in to override parents, physicians, psychiatrists, endocrinologists who have developed guidelines? Why would you override those guidelines?
Well, I think it's important that all of those physicians, all of those experts, for every single one of them, there's an expert that says we don't need to allow children to be able to take those medications.
So this is what a lot of conservatives like to do. This is just factually incorrect.
Of course, this is a lie because no one pushes for children to transition. People push for children to be able to pause their puberty until they are able to make an informed choice. And that's a huge difference. That is a huge difference. But conservatives don't care. They don't care. They're hateful people. Just, you know.
What they like to say is, oh, well, sure, you got all that research and everything, but I saw on Twitter that, like, this is cringe, so we gotta ban it. Sorry. There's, like, it's the mythical, like, just gesturing to everybody agrees with me here. It's just as much on the other side. This just isn't true. It's just factually not true. The world wouldn't be on the same page if it was true. It's not.
True.
This doesn't happen where all of these countries in the most developed world are on the same page with this, but you are just not. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
Medical research doesn't move it doesn't move towards something if there's so much arguments against it. And a lot of doctors wouldn't pick this stuff up if there was as well. That's just not how this works. Like, these doctors, no matter what you think about these doctors, okay? I'm sorry. Doctors don't not provide care.
True.
Because like some trans
Doctors don't just like randomly think of treatment because
are going to be mean to them on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or the Schrodinger's canceling, which
Yeah.
they'll be canceled, but sometimes they're canceled and then like
Doctors don't care.
like decide to be canceled or something, right?
What?
It's not real, okay?
Yeah.
This isn't real. They're not like as oppressed as you try to believe that they are. People can speak out against it, and they can. Lots of people have, and they've been dropping article after article after attempted paper after attempted paper.
True.
It's just not this. It's just the research on these conservatives' end for their idea that this is a bad surgery or they're bad practices when it comes to hormone therapy or anything shouldn't be done is just factually incorrect.
Incorrect.
They should feel bad about it. If I'm going
True.
to be honest, it's just not true. It's just not true.
Shark spitting facts, slaying. Okay, I'm not sure if I even have anything to add here. This is blatantly incorrect. Like.
Where,
but that's not true.
True.
Not for everyone, there's one.
It's not true.
These are the established.
Well, I don't know that. That's not true. I don't know that.
Then why would you pass a law then if you don't? If you that's true, wouldn't you?
Well, I know that there are doctors.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I mean, I know it's true. You don't know if it's true. Well, I don't know that it's not true. Well, if you do, then why in the world would you be stepping in on something that you have no clue? This is what they do. These people move
True.
and they speak before they think as well. And honestly, it's like step one.
Jon Stewart is so based. I always knew Jon Stewart was based, but now, yeah, our hero, the hero that we deserve, Jon Stewart. Okay?
Step 2, think. I don't know if they ever got to the step 2 part, if I'm going to be honest. At least
they never
by
do.
The depiction of this, it doesn't seem like they ever got to the step 2 think part. It's just ridiculous.
Think tank.
It's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. The research says one thing, and that's care for these people is good, generally. Now, when that care should start, and when exactly that care should start, and what measures should be there in place when it comes to the access to this, and what exactly should be done, that's on the fringes, and I think that honestly should be up to doctors, parents, and the kids themselves, and not the state to jump in and tell you what should and should not be done. That's not the state's place.
Doctors, and that we had plenty of people come and testify before our legislature who said that, we have 98% of the young people who have gender dysphoria, that they are able to move past that. And once they have the help that they need, no longer suffer from gender dysphoria. 98% without that medical treatment.
That's an incredibly made up figure. That doesn't comport with any of the studies.
I love it. That's an incredibly made up figure. Oh, Jon Stewart is like so epic. Oh my God, Jon Stewart is legendary. That's an incredibly made up figure. True. We need more Jon Stewarts. Like, it doesn't agree with any of the consensus
that exists from these medical organizations. What medical association are you talking about of these doctors?
Well, we have all of that in our legislative history, and we'll be glad to provide that to you. I don't have that off the top of my head. I know it's something that
you don't have the name of the organization that
off
you're
the
getting
top
that
of my head.
Oh, okay.
But yes, we have all of that cited in all the briefs.
You're suggesting that protecting children means overriding the recommendations of the American Medical Association.
That's true. So,
the American Association of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society.
We don't have a.
So, yes, The
Wow.
answer is yes. She does believe that. Yes.
Yep, she does.
So
She does 100%.
So what they're referencing is not like kids with like diagnosed gender dysphoria. What they're talking about is kids who
Gender non-conforming children. That's right.
who show signs that they may not be completely gender conforming.
Yep.
Which is true because all kids show signs to some
Gender
degree
non-conforming,
that they may
yeah.
not be gender conforming when they grow up. Okay, there are lots of boys who like play around with like Barbie dolls. For a
Yeah.
little bit, and there's lots of girls who don't want to wear dresses. Okay,
Yeah.
When they're little. This is all true, and this is not something like interesting or groundbreaking or goes against like or goes against any research or anything.
Right.
That part's true. But when it comes to the people who don't grow out of it, what do we do with them? That's the real question here. And that's why processes like puberty,
German affirming care.
when you've established that, but also here's the thing.
Right?
And while that's the case, those kids who like that boy who played with a Barbie doll for like a month when he was like 5 doesn't go on to get like but then grew out of it, doesn't go on to get like bottom surgery. That doesn't happen. Okay.
Right.
I'm sorry. This doesn't happen. They grow out of it and then they just move on with their lives. And typically they grow out of it by much earlier than 12 or 13, 14, 15 or 16. If you're experiencing that like in that age range, and like you go to psychologists and psychiatrists for it, and you go to like other doctors for it, then so what is it with those people? What about the people who are in their teens, especially early teens,
Right.
and they go through like psychiatry and through psychologists for? What's the range of those people that grow out of like gender dysphoria? What range of those people are? What's that? What about the people who are diagnosed with gender dysphoria? How many of those people just grow out of it? What you'll find is that the answer is not that many. And some who do, that's fine.
Yeah, it's true.
They grow out of it. That's what
Yeah.
puberty blockers are for. That's what and you know what happens when you take puberty blockers? Your puberty gets blocked. And then they're given the opportunity to understand and grow and be like, is this a path I really want to take or not? A lot of them will say no. And this is not the path that I want to take. This is not who I am. I just, it just blows past. That's okay. That's fine. We need to protect the ones who do, though, because the ones who don't, they're already protected. There's already processes in place that will make it so that once they're like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to go through with this, that they'll not be given like any more treatment, and they'll be left on their puberty blockers until they decide that they don't
What?
want them anymore. The people who do, those are the ones that we really need to protect, because those are the people who conservatives try to pretend don't exist at all. They really need the help there. They really
Double wielding
and
is
those
up to
people
now.
don't fall out of gender dysphoria or anything. That's a real condition that they have, and it's not something that's going anywhere anytime soon. And then those kids move on to be able to open up possibilities of like surgery, typically later, or because surgeries don't typically happen before
They don't.
16.
It's a long
17,
time.
18, when you'd be making like more grown-up decisions for yourself anyways, like when it comes to like what college you're going to go to and what like how much tax burden you're going to take, and like leaving the house and stuff like that a lot of people go through, right?
16?
And that's the typical age of emancipation. So if you're old enough to like be emancipated, that's typically the age where with like the blessings of like a psychologist and like an endocrinologist and other doctors, you can get surgery or other hormones like estrogen and like testosterone.
Estrogen!
It's not, but people like this woman and people like Matt Walsh always like
Matt
to pretend
Walsh.
that kids just cartwheel, like a little boy cartwheels into the like pediatrician
And pretends to be a walrus, yeah.
They go, I feel like a girl today, and then they strap the kid down. Freaking my bad. They like he cartwheels into the pediatrician and he goes, I think I want to be a girl, and the fucking like doctor turns around with the katana and they just go and they instantly just cut off his dick just like that.
True.
And like a cartoonishly like robot arms come out of the walls and like take off his clothes and then slip on a dress like super quick. That doesn't happen.
True.
It does not happen. I'm sorry, doctors have already thought about this before. Doctors are typically smarter
Doctors!
than conservative politicians
Doctors are woke and then they went broke.
by orders of magnitude.
True.
Orders of magnitude.
True.
They've
Smart
already thought
doctor.
about this, okay? You're not curious. You're not smart. I'm not that smart. You're not very smart. Okay?
It's true.
I'm sorry.
Enough data. We don't have enough to show that these drugs are effective and that these children are better off, and that we should.
Such stereotypical talking points. Yes, we do have enough data. We have done a lot of research on this. I've read some of these research on stream.
Don't have enough, or it's not enough for you. Let me
Oops.
flip it a different way and see if maybe this can help. In Arkansas, if you have pediatric cancer, and obviously we all want to protect children, I think we established that earlier. Whose guidelines do you follow for pediatric cancer?
Well, I think if my child, who is 4, if I was faced with that terrible decision, then I would be speaking to my doctor. And if my doctor recommended something that I disagreed with, then I would get a second opinion. And that's what I believe that these parents need to make sure that they're encouraged to get numerous opinions when they're talking about an irreversible step.
You're not
their
letting
child's-
them. The state's not saying get another opinion. What they're saying is you can't.
I don't even necessarily think
Yeah, exactly.
for kids who we believe are experiencing gender dysphoria under the age of 16 to need 2, maybe even 3 recommendations from medical professionals to be able to get things like surgery or even things
That's
like
different from That is different from banning, though, isn't it? Like, this is the conservatives cannot be honest for the life of them because they know that their positions are indefensible. Like, it's indefensible.
those lines. Like that's not, I don't think that's like so bad, right? We'll have to like open up like avenues for that and make sure that those people can get
Yeah,
that. I think, like, free
software.
healthcare is a great thing to be able to do that, so it won't be a money oh jeez, I'm dropping things, so it won't be a money barrier, right? So here's the thing is that in a lot of places they already do that. So here's the wild thing, okay? So it's not like trans healthcare around the country is not uniform at all.
Yeah.
It's not uniform in any way, shape or form. There are some places that require you to be at like a certain age. There are some places that it's completely up to like the doctor.
Nothing is uniform in the US, to be honest. Like, laws different from state to state. Like, that's a
There are
thing
some
that we
laws
have to
around it,
remember.
and there's some but mostly it's hospital policies around it more than anything. And typically, you need one recommendation. I'm not sure what all of the hospitals that perform gender affirming care in Arkansas, what their policies are. I know for a fact this woman doesn't either, and she doesn't give a shit about it either.
She doesn't care.
If they
No.
just said you need just like 2, like you need like a psychologist and like a psychiatrist and a pediatrician to both sign off and be like, yeah, this makes sense. Then typically it's fine, because if they already do it, then they could just play to their base and be like, we're helping kids, but also like stay within the bounds of like reasonable reasonable.
Plus, you go through several psychological tests. I went through a battery of psychological tests, mind you, for my diagnosis. You know, it's true.
Policy, and it wouldn't affect any hospitals for providing any of the care. If I'm going to be honest, that's like I don't necessarily think it's needed.
Yeah.
But if they do something like that, that's fine. Also on that point, when it comes to a lot of kids like grow out of it and they're on the whole detransition train and everything. We already know that the vast majority of people who detransition is because of the overwhelming hatred that they'll get.
Also, I don't like the framing of detransitioning. Like, I like the framing of Conur a lot more. Conur speaks of transitioning to another gender and then transitioning to another gender again. Like, I think Conur's framing is better when it comes to speaking about these topics, you know?
They come out as trans. But also, if we're going to talk about like how surgery shouldn't be done, especially on like younger people, because like, I don't know, maybe they'll regret it or something, then I guess we shouldn't do like knee surgeries, because it's been proven that 20% of people who go through knee surgery
died.
80% satisfaction. So 20% of people who get knee surgeries actually regret it.
Uh-oh.
So it's weird how you can be like, all of these people regret it. I can promise you, there's not, like the people who seek out surgery and get it, 20% of them are not like detransitioning and regret it. That's not true. It's not true.
It's true.
All right. I'm not sure if you.
It's true that it's not true.
I'm not sure if you can provide any studies to show that that's the case.
Study?
I can promise you they can't. 20% of like 1 in 5 people who get surgery do not regret it later in life. That's not true. It does not happen.
It's true that it's not true.
Already, but we don't, right?
Yeah.
But we don't.
We don't.
It's another lie from the tablecloth. You hate to see it.
My doctor recommended something that I disagreed with, and I would get a second opinion, and that's what an irreversible step.
You're not letting them. The state's not saying get another opinion. What they're saying is you can't. What you're actually saying is the opposite. No, that's actually
not at all what the state said. The state simply said that you cannot perform these procedures, and so parents should get another opinion, and children should want to have another opinion.
But that's not.
Wait, what? What? The state says that you cannot do these procedures. So a second opinion is worthless because you cannot do any procedures. What? What was that incoherent bubble? What was this incoherent rambling? What good does a second opinion do when you cannot perform any procedures?
What in the hell is happening? So she's trying the doublespeak. The doublespeak is really good when you're not going to get another question follow-up from like a TV station. But when it comes to actually speaking to another human being, stuff like this doesn't
work.
Fly, right? When you're able to ask another question, you don't have like 20 seconds until another Life Alert commercial has to play.
True.
This stuff doesn't fly. You're not saying get another opinion. How in the world can you get another opinion? What do you just say? How in the world can you get another opinion when you're not allowed to get the surgery in the first place?
True.
How in the world? Like this is like saying,
what?
This is like saying, oh, listen.
Why would you get another opinion on something that you cannot do?
Take the same route the conservatives took to ban abortion before Dobbs got knocked out when it comes to guns, and then be like, we didn't ban the purchase of guns.
True.
We just believe you should get.
Like Jon Stewart is like really epic, really nice, really cool, fighting for trans rights. Really nice.
Opinion. Just get another opinion.
True.
If that opinion says that you shouldn't ban guns, then just get another opinion.
Just get another gun.
If that one says you shouldn't ban guns, just get another opinion. Just keep getting opinions until you agree with us. That's not an opinion.
True.
That's force. Okay. But I hate tyranny. POV, I hate tyranny.
Because again, these are 9, 10, 11, 12
So if your child is suffering from pediatric cancer, and the state comes in and says to you, they recommend chemotherapy, but we're not going to let you do that. You can't. We think you should get a different opinion, and here's the organization we think you should get the opinion from.
True.
But they're an organization. So that's who you have to be treated by.
True.
Does that sound like something you would accept?
I think that's a very extreme example. That's not at all in line with what we're talking about.
Yes, it is. It's 1-to-1. It's exactly 1-to-1. Yeah, it is extreme and stupid. Exactly. It is. Well done. Well done. You're starting to see. Well done.
Saying that at some point, because when you have cancer, it literally is, and particularly pediatric cancer, and having friends that have lost children to pediatric cancer, having a 4-year-old, I'm sure.
I've got some bad news for you. Parents with children who have gender dysphoria have lost children to suicide and depression.
They absolutely
because it's acute. And so these mainstream medical organizations have developed guidelines through peer-reviewed data and studies. And through those guidelines, they've improved mental health outcomes. So I'm confused.
He's actually ripping her up.
Follow AMA guidelines and AAAP guidelines for all other health issues.
Damn.
Because we checked. But not for this.
That he's actually fucking destroying her.
Wow, he's so great. He is so great. Like I'm loving this. I'm loving what I'm hearing. Like wow, what more is there to say? Like
This is incredible. I'm telling you.
This is
People be like,
great.
debate bad. Oh, debate bad.
True.
This is insane. This
is amazing.
Is ridiculous. Like being this destroyed. Okay. Yeah, don't let them ignore the suicides. Don't let them ignore the suicide. The suicides are on their hands.
Yeah.
A lot of conservatives like to get really mad when you bring up suicides because they don't care about child suicide. But they get really mad about it. Like, well, here's the real reason. The reason why they get mad about
this
it
is good
because they love sewing. When they're sewing, they're like, but then when they what the hell? What is this? You know, that's how conservatives act. All right, I'm sorry.
I think Shark is the streamer with the best humor. Okay, Shark has the best humor of all streamers.
When they're
Shark deserves to be bigger. Shark should be bigger than he is. Okay, Shark should be. You should like. I'm gonna take this opportunity. Okay, you should give Shark some love. Okay. Although I think everybody here is already, everybody here is probably already a subscriber to Shark, but I'm gonna do this anyway.
sewing and they're banning shit, they think it's fucking hilarious. And then when they start reaping and they're like, oh, we have the worst child suicide in the entire country. Huh? What the hell? What is happening? That's what they're doing.
What happened?
I'm sorry. If you go to red states, they have the highest rate of child suicide. I think here in Kentucky, I think we have the highest rate of child suicide in the entire country.
Wow.
If I remember correctly. If not, we're like 48 out of 50. Highest rate of child suicide in the country. Do you think that this stuff is making things better? Really? Instead of worrying about that, they just wonder how they can make minorities' lives worse.
Yep.
That's really all that they care about. They look at another situation and they go, man, how can we make this worse for minorities? And that's the only lens that they look at any situation that happened in the country.
Yes.
It sucks. It really does. It really, really does, because there's so many people who deserve better than this.
Yep.
They deserve so much better than this, but they just don't
care.
They
Yeah.
really just don't care. They're so misguided. And I don't say this about like your average like conservative voter, because a lot of them don't know anything about this, if I'm going to be honest. A lot of them get lied to by their politicians, and their politicians love
A lot of them don't care as well, to be fair.
to just soak up, instead of doing anything to make their counties, their cities, their districts, their states better. Instead of doing that, they just love to ride the coattails of SJW.
Yeah, because that's easier.
Able to get into office and
That's easier. Yeah.
Issues instead of making the water drinkable.
Yeah, that's right. That's easier.
You hate to see it, but this is what a lot of conservatives do. You know.
Yeah. Like, blaming things on minorities is easier than actually fixing things. Yeah.
It really does suck. The suicides are on their hands. They cause the suicides.
Yeah.
If it's
Exactly.
been factually
They do.
proven, study after study, to show that when when these people are able to get care, that suicides drop dramatically, over 40%, right?
Yeah.
And so some people bring up some articles. There's one study that got debunked. Study that got debunked on this, but that was just like a bad study. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
that all these studies are
Swedish study or something.
I have one right here. Has never been debunked and is the gold standard study on this issue.
Okay. Debunk.
But here, we can look at this really quick.
Okay, look.
Mental health benefits associated with gender affirming surgery.
Oh, I know
The
this.
study took data from the 2015 transgender survey,
Come on.
which nearly had 20,000 participants. We love participating.
Yeah, we love.
participating. Trans people.
Which is why take part in the transgender survey that's happening right now, okay? Please take care. My good friend Josie is like the person that was very crucial in creating this transgender survey, okay? Like a big force, okay? So I'm gonna share it. If you're from the US, you should definitely take part in this survey. It's like very important.
Love participating. Baby snoring. Oh, can you hear her snoring back there? Anyways, Gender affirming surgeries were associated with a 42% reduction in psychological distress, 44% reduction in suicidal ideation when compared with transgender and gender diverse people who had not had gender affirming surgery but wanted it. So this is the real way that you find this out.
Oh,
This is the study.
I paused. Like, this is an important trans survey. Like, it was co-created by my good friend Josie. Josie is a streamer, and she's also a politician. And this survey is apparently a really, really big deal, and a step in making the lives of trans people in the US better. So if you have time, please, and if you are a US citizen, take time to. Josie does have a channel. Yes, yes, I will link her channel as well. That's a really good idea. Josie does, in fact, have a channel. I will give you a link. She's a Twitch streamer who does a lot of amazing things when it comes to fighting for trans rights. Okay. Ooh, she's doing a like a this is her link. She's really great, and she co-created a very important survey, okay? It's very important stuff.
Self, which is a super sick study, and this is the gold standard of study when it comes to this issue, is when it just comes to people who and this takes out the people who fall out of gender dysphoria. This takes out of the 2-year-olds who played with a Barbie doll once. This takes out everybody.
Barbie.
This only is talking about the people who wanted it versus the people who didn't, and the people who got it and the people who can't. And those people have a dramatic increase
in
in their psychological well-being and reduction in suicidality, which is an incredible thing. And that on top of it, because this is simply talking about surgeries. Conservatives, when they talk about this, they like to narrow down to one or the other and then try to only hold them in one place, without talking about it holistically. When it comes to trans care and when it comes to gender care, it's not one thing or the other. It's not surgery or social or whatever. It's a holistic treatment that affects all parts of your life,
mental, physical,
to help them come into fruition for the type of gender that you'd like to be, that you'd like to experience, and that you'd like to show to the world. And so this, on top of parents not being, shitty to their kids and not kicking them out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Parent support of their children on top of surgeries, not only, and not even surgeries, also medical intervention as well, because medical intervention does the same exact thing.
Yep.
Because that could be puberty blockers, that could be hormones. It has the entire thing. Conservatives only like to talk about the surgeries because they don't like to actually talk about the issue. They like to just fearmonger over it. But when it comes to what will actually fix these people's and help these people's lives, the holistic approach not only reduces suicidality by a large margin, it reduces suicidality to the point where it puts them back in line with the general population. And that's an incredible thing, and that's something that conservatives just don't care about.
But they don't.
It's simply saying, let those young people who are facing gender confusion and dysphoria, allow them to become adults and to make that decision. Allow a child to be a child.
That is also not what it says, by the way. That's also a lie.
Here's where we have our crossroads. You've made the determination that protecting these children means not giving them access to the guidelines and care that have been designed by medical and mental health professionals for children expressing gender dysphoria. And I'm asking you again,
why?
What are your qualifications
to
step in and say, no,
Yeah.
Keeping you from that care is protecting you. You've made that determination.
True.
These are irreversible decisions that these children at these young ages are making, or that their
They're
parents
not
are
making the
making.
decision.
Based.
Making it sound like a 9-year-old walks into a doctor's office
True.
and says, "Give me some testosterone." And the doctor goes, "Oh, thank God, because we're wanting to create an army of transgenders."
We'll get canceled on
We
Twitter.
passed a law to protect the children in Arkansas, and I think that's what is important.
Again, the medical community disagrees with you that
Well,
that's
not all of the
protecting
medical
children.
community.
Who doesn't?
We have had experts testify here in Arkansas.
So here's the thing.
Oh my
Not every
gosh.
expert is somebody worth listening to.
True.
Not every expert is somebody who knows what they're talking about.
True.
Because you're an expert, simply because you have a degree, does not mean that what you say has any value to it. Okay?
True.
And some people may be like, oh, you're just picking and choosing. This isn't picking and choosing. It's not picking and choosing. You're picking the consensus and you're choosing not to believe the fringes.
True.
Have any evidence to back up what they say.
Exactly.
Sometimes they do. And that gets talked about. There's already
And
debate.
I'm willing to say that base Jon Stewart will say this as well. Yeah, she is flirting and you can hear it in her voice. She's like, wow. This is wonderful. I love it.
happens in and around these things. This already happened. This is already real. You're not changing anything. You're not helping this. You're not providing more research for these things. If you actually cared about the kids, whatever happened to the money that can go to the research to figure out what's actually true?
True.
Decided what was true without even looking at it or caring about it. It's
True.
This is what happens when you just listen to anybody who has who calls themselves an expert. Okay, this is what happens. You get shit. You listen to people who say shit like this.
So this is how it works.
Jon Stewart is really cool, really doing a great job. Like, wow, I'm feeling good about this. I always knew Jon Stewart was cool. Like, I always knew. Lucy instinct never fails her, okay?
Doctor, just so you know.
You're injected with graphene oxide. Once injected with the so-called vaccine, you become connected to the Internet of Things.
What?
You can be mind controlled by artificial intelligence.
Internet of Things? What?
5G.
Oh my.
Why are they putting 5G everywhere? It's like the Tower of Babel.
What?
And how did God deal with the Tower of Babel?
This is...
He's a doctor.
Is a doctor?
He's a doctor.
Is this for real?
Religious activist and doctor. He's in Texas.
Are you serious?
Steve Hotze. Hotz?
No. No, that's not
He's a
a...
physician.
What?
Just so you know.
No, what?
He graduated from the University of Texas Medical
It can't be.
Galveston.
It can't be.
This is a doctor. This is a real physician.
This cannot be.
Why is the worst people in my home state? As you can see here, graduated from the University of Texas Medical Branch with his Doctor of Medicine. Wild shit. For marine life. Maybe with the way he's
I will take it, okay? He's being based. I will take it, okay, boy? I will take it. He's being based.
talking. But this is why
Wow.
you can't just listen to random people who say that they have he has quite the resume. You see this resume? Activism, anti-LGBT, COVID-19 pandemic, 2020 election, criminal incident, George Floyd protest. POV, your average conservative doctor doing average conservative things, as you know. So simply just because you're you can call and I highly doubt that the people that the conservatives brought up were professionals, but this is a person who graduated from a medical school and who is a doctor who believes
True, obsessive
connected
force.
to the internet with
True. No purity testing. We are solidarity, okay? Solidarity. Solidarity, boy. We are solidarious, boy.
5G, and you can get mind controlled by getting vaccines. Okay, there's a real human being. You hate to see it. Also, apparently, he believes that
Says,
he promoted a series of claims with no basis in science, including that taking birth control pills made women less attractive to men, and that when men lose their testicles to disease or injury, that they find it difficult reading a map, performing math problems, and making decisions.
Also, it's a video. I'm not watching Shark stream or I stream. It's a video. I don't snipe streams, boy. Come on.
Listen, we have specialists here. We have real doctors.
Well, I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, this is a. You made me worried. I don't snipe streams.
Here, okay?
Okay, from what medical organizations?
Well, we have all of those in our briefs, and I apologize that I wasn't prepared to have a Supreme Court argument today in front of you, but we are going to have arguments on this case when the time comes.
When the time comes.
That law that she helped put through is in court right now. Yeah, Supreme Court argument. Yeah, they want to take this to the Supreme Court so they can ban trans people from existing.
Oof.
Right now, it's not on that path whatsoever. But the really cool thing is that law is actually stopped. It's halted. A judge realized that they are low IQ and they're stupid and they're discriminating based on sex. And so you cannot just ban healthcare from people who you just don't like. You can't do that. That's not how that works. And so it's been kicked down. They lost in the court. They lost in the lower court. They lost in the Court of Appeals. And so now it's going back to the lower court. Well, they'll obviously lose again. And hopefully that'll be the end of that until another state like Tennessee, unfortunately, is going to try and do the same thing again. Hate to see it. Cringe, but as the world goes, that's just what happens with
Yeah.
And you all need to understand. I'll leave you all with this. You need to understand.
People change. I don't think it's worth looking to 20 years ago to check what Jon Stewart believes in now. Like I am willing to believe that Jon Stewart also had different views on trans issues 20 years ago, you know? Like I think his views just changed, you know? I'm not sure if it's like really a worthy endeavor to check what he believed in 20 years ago or to assume that what he believed 20 years ago is what he believes now, you know? Does that make sense? So yeah, Obsessive Arch has a point. Like we shouldn't judge people on what they believed 20 years ago. I don't think it makes much sense for us to do so, right?
There is no human right. There is no civil right. There is no right that you have or you can imagine that you have that is safe.
Isn't that true, boy?
Conservatives are able to reach any level of power in the planet, period. There's not a single right that you have. There's not a human right. There's not a civil right. There's not a freedom that you have that is safe as long as conservatives can reach.
Well, we have to check how he is now, right?
Marrying who you want, to who you can date and or have sex with, what sex you can have.
One thing's for sure, he sure became based when it comes to trans rights, right? We just saw it. We just saw him arguing a really cool way for trans rights. So I think it's worth, if you're having doubts about Jon Stewart, that's okay. But I think after this performance, it is more than fair enough to give him a fair shake and to observe, you know? I'm not saying to just be like, oh yeah, he's super cool, but observe, right? He did very well here. Maybe he also has very nice stances on different things, right? Yeah. That's true. So, you know, if anyone has doubts about Jon Stewart, observe, right? He did, in my opinion, he did really well here. I think he's cool, but, you know, we'll see, right? I think he's cool based on this, at least. Okay.
like where you can go.
We will
your
like
existence, and
Shark's
it's
video and
illegal, the
comment.
healthcare you can have, if you can have healthcare in the first place, if you get thrown in jail for like who you are, all of these things are up for grabs as long as conservatives are allowed to reach levers of power. This is not fear mongering.
Buddy.
This is not persecution. It's exactly who these people are, and they show
True.
exactly who they are.
They don't hide it.
To speak. Don't allow them to get done what they want to do. It's important to vote. It's important to get dual power structures down.
True.
It's important to build mutual aid to be able to make sure that you can.
Yeah, we must build mutual aid.
Safe.
True.
Like with food too. I mean, there's food. There's also clean water. Just look at where.
It's okay, but we all can get a little bit emotional about what we like, you know. But I think it's fair to give Jon Stewart a fairest chance if you think that there are elements about him that are not okay, you know?
Conservatives are allowed to like take root. Those places have the worst water, period. Look at like Jackson, you know? Well, look at Jackson. That still doesn't have clean water to this very day. Look at Flint, Michigan. That still doesn't have clean water to this very day. And all the people and all the conservatives that put lead in their water are all now gone and walking away completely scot-free without any repercussions for any of their actions. And Nestle is still allowed to use child slavery and poison people's water in just like in one city to the next. It's disgusting. And this is what these people push for. They don't care about safety. They don't care about kids. They don't care about anything. They care about getting their own. They care about their own political agenda, and they care about making people who disagree with them suffer.
Sharks spitting facts. It is what they care about.
Listen, the more we move into the future, the less power that they'll have.
Yeah.
As long as you
Me.
get involved and make sure that happens.
Yeah.
These debates and everything, they're fun. They're to dunk on, but without any political power behind it.
Bilbo Baggins?
Hot air in the wind.
True. And we should be like into solidarity, okay? As I've said many, many times. I would like ring the bell. I already have ring the bell. True. Lucy thought this was awesome. You are awesome. It's true. All right. Comment. We have commented on this video. And now, for a second, we will turn this off because we have an important